Your doctor never told you this. The food sitting in your refrigerator right now, the food you plan to reheat for lunch tomorrow, is triggering a chemical reaction inside your body that researchers have linked to one of the deadliest cancers known to medicine. And the worst part is that you have probably been doing this for decades. A 2025 review published in Frontiers in Oncology confirmed that the global burden of pancreatic cancer has more than doubled in recent decades, with an estimated 510,922 new cases and 467,409 deaths recorded in 2022 alone. The overall 5-year survival rate worldwide sits at just 10%, with projections showing a 95.4% increase in new cases by 2050. A separate 2025 scientific report confirmed that current dietary exposure to N-nitrosamines may present health concerns across all age groups. The science is no longer theoretical. It is sitting on your plate. NIH +2. Here is what I am going to show you today. First, why the simple act of pressing the reheat button transforms ordinary food into a vehicle for documented carcinogens. Second, which 4 specific foods are most dangerous when reheated and the precise chemical reason for each one. Third, and this is the part most people never reach, 4 specific protocol changes you can make this week that require no dietary overhaul and no sacrifice, only knowledge. Stay with me through all 4 foods. The 4th one is the one that will change how you cook rice forever. Processed meat, sausages, bacon, ham, hot dogs, deli slices, canned meat. Any product that has been cured, smoked, or preserved using nitrites and nitrates. This is the most dangerous food on this list to reheat, and the reason is built into the manufacturing process itself. N-nitrosamine compounds form when nitrosing agents in meat products interact with nitrites and nitrates that have been added to the meat. With the consumption of such meat products, nitrosation reactions occur in the human body, and N-nitrosamine formation occurs in the gastrointestinal tract. The food already contains these precursor compounds before it reaches your kitchen. When you apply heat a second time, you are not starting a new reaction. You are accelerating one that was already underway. Research analyzing data from 11 clinical trials involving 6,643 individuals with pancreatic cancer found that eating processed meats increases the risk of developing pancreatic cancer by 19% for every 50 grams consumed, the equivalent of 1 sausage. The mechanism is heat-driven. The higher the temperature, the more nitrosamine formation compounds. Frying or microwaving processed meat at high heat produces a meaningfully higher concentration of these compounds than the original food contained. Decades of toxicological and epidemiological evidence have established several N-nitrosamines as potent human carcinogens, with strong associations specifically documented for gastrointestinal, pancreatic, and liver cancers. The protocol is simple. If you eat processed meat, eat it once, freshly prepared, and never reheat it at high temperature. Cold from the refrigerator is safer than reheated on high. Wiley Online Library plus 2 spinach and high nitrate leafy greens, celery, beetroot, kale. This is the one that causes the most disbelief. People reach for spinach because it is genuinely healthy. The iron, the folate, the antioxidants are all real. The problem is not the spinach. The problem is what spinach becomes when it is cooked, stored, and then reheated. Leafy green vegetables, particularly when processed and stored, may accumulate significant nitrite and nitrosamine concentrations due to their naturally high nitrate content, contributing to dietary exposure currently underestimated in risk assessments. Here is the sequence. Spinach contains naturally occurring nitrates. When cooked and then stored, even in the refrigerator, bacterial activity begins converting those nitrates into nitrites. The longer it sits, the more nitrite it contains. When you reheat it, the heat drives that conversion further, and then drives a reaction between the nitrites and the amino acids in the spinach, producing nitrosamines. Food safety laboratories confirm that leafy vegetables such as spinach should not be reheated, with stems removed before cooking as they contain the highest nitrate concentrations. The practical solution costs nothing. Cook spinach fresh in the quantity you will eat immediately. If you have leftovers, eat them cold the next day. Cold does not drive the nitrosamine forming reaction. Heat does. Every time. Science Direct AgroLab Group cooking oils, and specifically any food that was cooked or fried in oil. This is the one most people vaguely know but critically misunderstand. The concern is not that you used oil. The concern is what that oil becomes the second time heat is applied to it. When polyunsaturated cooking oils, sunflower, corn, soybean, canola, are heated to cooking temperature, a process called lipid peroxidation begins. When oil is heated repeatedly, it forms harmful substances including trans fats, aldehydes, acrylamide, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, all of which have been studied for their direct link to cancer development. Reheated oil contains elevated levels of free radicals that cause oxidative stress, which damages cells and DNA. Over time, this increases the risk of chronic diseases, including cancer. Research published in critical reviews of food science and nutrition confirmed that reheating vegetable oils repeatedly produces harmful compounds associated with higher risks of colorectal, breast, and prostate cancers in those exposed over extended periods. The smoke point, the temperature at which oil begins to visibly break down, lowers with each use. The oil reaches its toxic threshold faster every time it is heated again. The protocol is direct. Do not reheat fried foods. Eat fried food once, immediately after preparation. Discard cooking oil after one use. If you must reheat something cooked in oil, use a moderate oven temperature. Never a microwave on high. Complement +2 rice. This one is different from the others, and the distinction matters. The danger from reheated rice is not primarily the same chemical carcinogenic pathway. The culprit behind reheated rice syndrome is a spore-forming bacterium called Bacillus cereus. Unlike common foodborne bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli, cooking or reheating your food will not protect you from a Bacillus cereus problem because the toxins it produces are heat-resistant and the spores can survive cooking. Here is the mechanism. Bacillus cereus spores survive the initial cooking process. If cooked rice is left at room temperature, these spores germinate and multiply, producing toxins. The emetic toxin persists even at 100 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. You reheat the rice, you kill the bacteria, the toxins remain. In severe cases, particularly in vulnerable populations including the elderly and immunocompromised individuals, Bacillus cereus can lead to liver failure, sepsis, or death. Over years of repeated low-level exposure, the chronic intestinal inflammation these toxins produce creates the cellular environment in which gastrointestinal cancer can develop. A 2024 review confirmed that the primary cause of Bacillus cereus contamination in rice is improper food handling and storage temperature during the cooking, cooling, and reheating stages. The protocol is precise. Cool cooked rice within 1 hour and refrigerate immediately. Store for no more than 24 hours. Reheat once only to steaming hot throughout. Never reheat a second time. Cook in smaller quantities so there is less left over. Right as rain +3. Here's what I need you to understand before you close this video. Your pancreas does not hurt when it is being damaged. It does not swell. It sends no signal. For metastatic pancreatic cancer, the 5-year survival rate has only moved from 2% to 3%, suggesting minimal progress. Only 14% of patients are diagnosed at a resectable stage, meaning the survival rate for most patients remains essentially unchanged. That is the disease waiting silently. What I have described today are 4 specific kitchen habits that silently feed the conditions in which that disease develops. None of this asks you to change your entire diet. None of this asks you to stop enjoying food. It asks you to apply 4 protocol changes this week. Never reheat processed meat at high temperature. Eat cooked leafy greens cold the following day. Discard used cooking oil and never reheat fried foods. Cool rice within 1 hour and reheat once only. These are not inconveniences. They are the information your kitchen never came with, and that prevention is the only strategy that consistently works. PubMed Central. Which of these 4 foods surprised you the most? Tell me in the comments. I read every answer. The patterns in what people tell me shape every video I make after this one. If this information will genuinely change how you cook this week, share it with someone you love who reheats their breakfast sausage every morning and has never once thought about what they are adding to it. That share may matter more than you know. Subscribe for more honest conversations about what the science actually says. I am not here to frighten you. I am here to give you the information that changes outcomes. Next video, the 5 breakfast foods marketed as healthy that research increasingly connects to accelerated inflammation, particularly in adults over 60. Watch it now.